Hello everyone and welcome back to some rapid action on leeches. We're gonna be playing a 10+0 game as we usually do, and I'm gonna try to explain my thought process to the best of my abilities. We're gonna play one rapid game. Maybe if it's for some reason a very short one, maybe we play two, but usually I play one. Okay, we get the white pieces. We're playing against Solomon 234, and we're gonna open it with pawn to e4. Like I said, we've dropped a little bit with rating as I've been playing some games offline. Not offline, but not recording, and then I play much worse. So, okay, e4, e5, we're gonna go knight f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4. I always go for the Italian, where my opponent either invites me to go for an Evans Gambit or goes for the two knights defense. And I never decline a nice Evans Gambit invitation, so yeah, we're gonna have an Evans Gambit accepted and pawn to d4. So it's a fun line to play. You can you can castle, you can go queen b3. Basically, you want to get as much development as possible for the price of that one or two pawns, depending on how many he captures. And now he could play queen to e7. Knight h6 obviously is bad for obvious reasons, so queen to e7 has to be played. And now you can play pretty much whatever here, but I think castles is perfectly fine. So we're preparing to just capture on d4, and if he wants to be, I guess, in the spirit of defending against the Evans Gambit, he will go bishop b6 to prepare knight a5, where we can again play, whatever we want. It all depends. Do you really want to go all out, or do you want to have a nice game? Do you want to win back your pawn? So it's fun. It's okay. See, he goes for bishop to b6, and he invites us to play c captures on d4, which is nice, because if we capture, he might not even go knight a5. He might just recapture if he wants to keep the pawn. So I'm gonna invite him to capture the pawn. I would much rather he captures the pawn than eliminates my light square bishop. So we'll see what he does. Yeah, okay, so he captures it, attacks my queen. We're gonna capture here. And now we could throw in even a bishop to a3. Although first we're gonna go knight c3. Knight c3 makes sense. We're just threatening knight d5. So he will play c6 most likely. No, he won't. He will play it this way. That looks at least a little bit suspicious. Yeah, I don't think that works. If d6 then e5 looks very scary. He's not afraid of that. Very interesting. Okay, so maybe he's just he wants to give up a piece and claim that he has a couple of pawns for the piece, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so we could go like that. We could also play, I don't know, we could also give a nice check or a nice check here and then give a nice check and pick up the bishop on d4 as it's undefended. We could play e5. Queen captures is bad for obvious reasons. Rook to e1 just wins material. Captures is impossible. Bishop captures on e5. I guess it's nice. We play rook 8 to e1, and then, okay, he loses something because f4 is coming. But no, it's not. Bishop d4 again comes with check, so he will be able to unpin. Yeah, so interesting, to say the least. Maybe just rook ad1. Rook ad1. Get the rook into the game with tempo. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. We'll see after the game. I mean, there are some tactics here, but Like if he goes bishop c5, okay, so he will capture. Yeah, he cannot. So he gives me the bishop pair, and now we have to use the bishop pair wisely. Hmm. So we're gonna. Yeah, perhaps not the best, but yeah, we're down only 2 pawns, but we do have the bishop pair, and we want to make it as nice a bishop pair as possible. Probably gonna try and trade off with bishop to e6 or something, which we don't want to allow. Yeah, this rook is nice on the d file, preventing him from moves like c6 and such. But yeah, we're gonna go rook e1 and just prepare some pawn pushes. Yeah, this bishop will at some point come to b2, so it's gonna be useful. Yeah, not sure. Maybe I mean, I could have maybe captured a pawn and grabbed that bishop on d4, but it's not really anything, and he'd just be up a pawn. So I think this is better. Yeah, so he fights over the e5 square. Okay. What? Let's threaten mate. Probably f6 cannot be played due to the bishop. Knight e5, just f4 wins the game. So the knight has to go back to f6. It wasn't much of a move. Or maybe that was his plan, just for me to move the bishop, and then he goes back knight to f6. Yeah, seems like a reasonable idea. Okay, so we burned a bit more time, but I believe now he could be the one that starts burning time. But we'll see. So we have the bishop. Yeah, he goes back, of course. We have the bishop pair. We have the long-term advantage, and we can just start pushing, I believe. Is there a way to maybe improve further? I don't know. f4, yeah. It's a little bit dangerous having the king on this open diagonal, but for the moment, I don't think we have to worry about it. On the other hand, he can always give back a pawn or two to stabilize a little bit. Yeah, of course, he's gonna go for that, and yeah, we're not gonna trade, of course. But if we don't trade, we might have to give up another pawn, which I think is fine. Yeah, let's give up another pawn. Because if we get e5, I mean, we're extremely happy. Then we open up both of our bishops and the rooks. He still has to get his rooks into the game. Yeah, I like it. Objectively, he's probably better, but I would say it's harder to find useful moves, maybe. Unless he decides to play something like 98 and just say, yeah, you're never doing anything here. I don't really mind if you push those pawns. So that's definitely an option, but then we invite, the heavy artillery into the game. We'll see what happens. Okay, so he decides against grabbing the pawn as, but then again, he gives up. He takes away this square from the knight. What, knight d5? Yeah, okay, he can play that. Can play that. Yeah, we're gonna capture with the rook. We're gonna capture with the rook, and now we start pushing. We go rook e1, and then we play h3 g4 g5. We can play that, we win. Also, we have nice coverage of c5, so we don't have to worry about a check. Yeah, like I said, he's gonna start burning more time here. Solomon 234 from Earth. Yeah, mostly plays Rapid. Right, I don't know if mostly, but he's highest rated in Rapid. 2269 in Bullet, 2200 in Blitz, and 2300 in Rapid. Okay, so the bishop pair is always very nice to have because, you know, they have such long range. You can enjoy them for a very long time. And there's no need to rush anything. Of course, you avoid trades and just try to apply more pressure. He will, of course, try to give up. He would probably give up a rook for a bishop now, but we're not going to allow that. I might give up the light square bishop. I'm not giving up the dark square bishop. Yeah, and we're already better on time, so that's very good for us. Like, I don't have any specific plans. I'm mostly waiting to see what he plays, and then I'm gonna, you know, figure out what's what. Because there are many things you can play here. I still think maybe the knight to e8 maneuver, just, you know, guarding g7 was the way to go. Not really sure what to do about this now. Because there are some nasty threats here like f5, just winning material. So there's a lot to consider. Still, he's up 2 pawns, so even if he, you know, gives up a piece for one more pawn, it's not that terrible. But we'll see. I'm starting to enjoy my clock advantage a lot more. Yeah, but I don't. That's pretty much my plan. If he doesn't blunder something, I'm just gonna, you know, double up on the e file. If needed, the bishop to b1 will be played, not so much to protect the pawn, rather to protect my bishop from some sort of an exchange sacrifice, because I don't want a rook for a bishop in this position. And if he somehow stops, you know, whatever my plan is, then somehow, you know, the g pawn marches forward, we dislodge the knight, and we apply pressure to g7. And he will try, of course. Okay, so he goes queen f8. That's how he will guard g7. It's nice. It's not the best, maybe, but you know, sufficient. It's definitely sufficient. So now yeah, let's apply more pressure, simply to make him burn time. I don't think this is a move he considered because it's probably not very good. But with 2 minutes and 30, yeah, and we already have a nice threat. Queen captures a knight. You cannot go here, you cannot go here. G6 also impossible. Yeah, I think rook g5 is just nice. And you can just move the knight anywhere because then we have a triple attack on g7. So yeah, haven't really put much thought into rook g5, but it seems to be a very strong move. Yeah, because if we captured with the pawn on e5 instead of the rook, yeah, it dislodges the knight, but he would get the knight to d5, and it would take a lot of time for us to move this pawn away from e5. He will probably never capture on a2 because I would gladly give up one more pawn to open up, you know, this diagonal. But we'll see. Yeah, I think now with a minute 30 on the clock, it's only a matter of how he wants to resign. But then again, I've been wrong in many a position. Yeah, okay, so h6, yeah, you know, a nice move, definitely. The idea is that if I move the rook, let's say to g3, then he has knight h5. So we could what? Yeah, h6 is a nice move. There you have it. I said it. I've been hmm. Yeah, this is nice. This is very nice. Yeah, h6. The move that you expect, you know, not to do all that much gets the job done. Oh. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll need to bring more firepower. Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. Knight h5 now. Yeah, he made my rook pretty useless. No, definitely don't wanna burn. Bishop g4. Wow. Interesting. Do we have a queen captures on f6 here? Captures. Yeah, he goes somewhere. We capture on f6, but there's no, he can't go. Yeah, I think potentially a very strong move. Is there anything he has in between? Ah, he can offer the queen back. He can offer the queen back, I think. Yeah, it almost works. It almost works because we're gonna play captures, and after captures, we're gonna play captures, and he's gonna play queen g7. Yeah, that's why. That's why it's not the best. But if we play captures, and bishop captures, the bishop is pinned. He does have some h5 stuff here. Wow, that's so annoying. So annoying. Probably isn't even that bad, but yeah, he made me burn too much time. That's what I get for saying that all he has to do is to resign, because there's always something to do. Yeah, there's always something to do. Yeah, I think it was almost there, but not quite. Although I don't know why he played bishop g4 instead of knight h5. I think it's time trouble also getting to him. Okay, so now he just lost thread of the game, I think, because he forgot about g7, and I think he will resign now. But I thought that before, you know, so. Yeah, okay. He resigns. Yeah, let's go over it, you know, with our good friend here, and see what we could have done better. So it was an Evans gambit with you know, pretty standard stuff. Queen b3, queen e7. I castled bishop to b6. I played cd4. He played knight captures, and this is all perfectly fine. I played knight c3. So basically, all standard theory. Rook 81. Yeah, we're all playing top moves. Yeah, bishop captures. It's a 0-0 position. And he castled kingside. Yeah, I played rook e1, knight d7. Knight d7 already winning for me. Imagine that. Just e5. Why would it be winning? Because everything is pinned. Yeah, e5, just very strong. Wow. Yeah, that's what I mean, that's very, very hard to digest. I mean, how do you miss a move like e5? Yeah, I mean, I understand, okay, it's very strong, but that it's completely winning? There's no way to, yeah, you're just gonna cripple him too much here. Cannot capture with everything. Knight captures also, just loses to f4. Yeah, that's a shame. Sorry for missing that. Yeah, I played bishop back to b2. And here, knight f6, again, he gives me the win, but I have to play e5 right away. Why is e5 right away winning? What, just captures and bishop a3. Okay, I win the exchange. Oh no, I don't. c5. Okay, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Tactics. Okay, very nice. Okay, so we've learned a little bit about the main line. That e5 move can be played much sooner. You know, I don't have to prepare with f4. I basically wasted time here. Bishop to e6, and now I played bishop back to d3 again. Okay, now e5 is nice. It's not winning though. Bishop d3, he played rook e8. I played e5. Captures, and I played rook captures. And okay, slight advantage for me. I could have done much better, obviously. Queen f8, guarding that g7 pawn. I played rook g5. Not the best, yeah, as h6 is the only move for black, but, you know, a nice one. I played rook g3, and knight h5 has to be played. He played bishop to g4, and queen captures on f6 works. It's not completely winning, but, yeah, let's see what I've missed. And bishop captures, queen g7, rook captures, king captures, g4. And, okay, I play this. Okay, yeah, okay. You know, with little time on the clock, I wouldn't, you know, with 4 pawns versus 6. Yeah, okay, the bishop pair is very nice. Yeah, should have gone for that, definitely. Would have been a nice game. But yeah, I decided against the queen sacrifice to play rook f1, and now it's again equal, but only if he plays correctly. He immediately blundered, and I played rook captures on g4. Here he played king f8, and he resigned because, well, he was... he had 6 seconds on the clock, and also there's a bishop to a3 with the skewer here. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible per se. I wasn't lost at any point in the game, but yeah, missing e5 there. Yeah, I mean, practice your tactics. Yeah, he gave me an opportunity. This is a dream opportunity for an Evans player, and I missed pawn to e5. I didn't miss it once. I missed it twice after knight f6. Again, pawn to e5. Yeah. But yeah, then you get the idea. You give up a few pawns, your opponent is up in material, but you have the mighty bishop pair throughout the entire game, and you know you make it work. And at some point I had 3 minutes on the clock, my opponent had 5 minutes on the clock. I said that he would start burning more time, and he did, and okay, then he got me with that pawn to h6 move. I did not see it, and I had to burn, or I had to also burn time. But in the end, yeah, okay, we got a nice win, and we're, you know, climbing back to, you know, hopefully 2300 and beyond. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, we'll continue playing these sessions whenever I get the chance. Yeah, last game I played pawn to c4, although I'm not really a pawn to c4 player. We did get a win, and I enjoyed it, so I might throw in a few more c4s if I feel like it. Until next time, see you soon.